Welcome to the last 4 weeks of ELHS Computer Science Remote Learning. This last 4 weeks is going to take the form of sprint goal tracking, where your responsibilities over the last 4 weeks will involve the following. First, you will be asked to establish your goal. Establishing your goal will be the process of picking a personal goal from one of the following 4 categories: 3D design and implementation, 2D design and implementation, sound design and implementation, or component design and implementation. State your goal in a sentence starting with, "I will design and implement," and then whatever you are going to design and implement under one of those 4 categories. Once you have stated your goal, the next thing is you will be making a weekly post to the CS1 Slack server. The CS1 Slack server is where all required weekly posts will be made. You'll be posting to specifically the CS1 Slack Community Creations channel at the Slack server. That channel, as you can see here at the Slack server, is called Community Creations, and you will be posting in a comment to the Community Creations channel. And that will be a weekly requirement as we go into the last 4 weeks. The format for your post needs to follow the following. State your goal, state what you have completed towards your goal, state what you aim to do next in your goal quest, and then state the biggest goal related to the challenge. The biggest goal related challenge that you face. Okay? Every post that you make should also include either a screenshot, a video, or code related to your goal quest. Okay, so let me walk you through an example weekly post, going the whole way back to the process of establishing a goal. Let us consider this example. I am going to consider an example using the category of 3D design and implementation. 3D design means I would have to design and thereby make some type of 3D asset. Implementation means I need to code and get the asset into the actual game. So I am going to go ahead into Magic of Voxel. We're looking here at a particular asset that I created, a 3D asset that I created that was designed after you might notice, a table that's in the front of my classroom. If I were to design a model of the entire classroom in a very simplified voxel format, this would be a good model to go into that scene. So I would take this model. This would be the designing portion. After designing this, I would, for example, export this from Magic of Voxel, in this case, as an OBJ, table and drawers. Let me put it on the desktop. I'd export that. I would then open up Blender, and in Blender I would put it in a format that could be then used in the game. So let me just go ahead into Blender, and we'll just delete the starter cube and we'll import it into Blender. Remember, it was exported as a wavefront OBJ. So I'll go to the desktop, and we have table and drawers OBJ right there. And there it is. If you notice something about it, it's not in the center of the screen, which is something that we're going to account for right now. So if we look at it right now, I'm going to press G. I'm going to center it. Zoom in a little bit on it. And I'm going to look straight down on it. We'll see that it's not centered that way either. I'm going to press G. I'm going to center it in this dimension as well. And I'll look at it again from the front. And I'll pull it down. I'm going to press G and pull it down just a tiny bit there. So we're pretty much just centering the 3D asset so we can export it now. I'm going to go export as GLTF. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my desktop. I'm going to say desk, or I'll just say desk right now. And I'll go ahead and export that. Once that's been exported, now I can go back into a remix of the game. Let's say here I am in a remix of the game, and I go into the assets folder for the game, and I can go ahead and upload that desk file that we just exported. I can go ahead and copy the URL for it, and I can go over into the public index HTML for this particular file, and I will put, let me see here, I'll just put it right down here. There's a space after this jukebox. I'm going to go ahead and put a GLTF model, where the source for the model is that particular link. And I'll go ahead and add a little bit of more information. I'll add some position information to it, position component. And I will set the position to, let's just say, -5. Let's set it at 0, and we'll set the Z at -6. We'll see how that looks in the world, and we'll just go ahead and show that and see what that looks like. And there it is over there. And there is the asset.
Welcome to CS1 Community Park. Please join us at 9 p.m. for some tasty roasted marshmallow s'mores.
So that was an example of stating a goal. If we go back here to the requirement, I stated a goal. And I went and I did the implementation of it. So now I need to make a post. If you notice, I did not do any screenshotting. So I'm going to go back and grab a screenshot right now to show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a screenshot. So I'm going to go over here and go back in here. And I'm going to grab a screenshot. I'm going to press Shift Command 4 for the screenshot.
Welcome to CS1 Community Park. Please join us at 9 p.m. for some tasty roasted marshmallow s'mores.
Okay, so right now I'm going to press Shift Command 4. I'm going to make a screenshot right now of the part of the scene having the desk. There's my screenshot. And once I have done that, now I can go ahead and close out of there. If I wanted to name that screenshot something different, if I go to my desktop, it will show up there just as screenshot. Maybe I put desk, and now it's entitled desk. Now I can go into the Slack. I can say over here, I'm going to say example weekly post. Okay, so I'm going to state my goal. So my goal is I will design and implement 3D models. Notice I'm going to say models which will contribute to a, I'll say, classroom scene. Eventually we'll get to that point. Remember, this is going to be over over 4 weeks total. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that is my goal. And if I go back over here to the requirements, so I state the goal, state what I've completed so far is the next thing. So I'm going to say, I'll say so far I have designed and implemented a I'll say desk. Let's call it a desk. All right. And then let's go look at the next guiding statement. State what you aim to do next. Okay. So let's say next I would make a lab table. Okay. So over here, next I will design and implement a lab table. All right. And let's go back here to the guide. And it says the next part, I need to state the biggest goal related challenge I am facing so far. My biggest challenge so far, okay, my biggest challenge thus far has been, okay, deciding which items to design. Okay, so now you might have some very technical challenges, and you just might have a simple creative block right here, like I'm stating. But just state whatever your biggest challenge is, and then include a screenshot, video, or code related. I am going to include the screenshot. Maybe I will also include the code as well. Doesn't mean that you only have to have one of those. So I will include, so I'm going to go over here, attach a file from my computer. I'm going to go grab that desk image. I'll put that desk image in there. And I'm going to go ahead and before I add that, I'm also going to add the code as well. So it's already uploaded. I'm going to go back to the code that I used as well. If you remember, I added it with this code right here. And I'm going to copy that code and put it in the post as well. When you're putting code in the post, if you put 3 backticks, it creates a little code box for posting code. And then I can paste that code in right there. And I might even make it look a little bit better by putting that on a separate line. And I might put the, I think that is perfectly fine actually. So I have some code and I'm going to click upload. And let's go take a look at it. All right, so here goes the post. Now the post has been made. Let's go review the post. Okay, so I stated my goal. I stated what I've done so far. I stated what I'm going to do next. I stated my biggest challenge. I put some code. And I also put a screenshot. Okay, I could have just done one of these two right here, or I could have put a video, in fact. Okay, but I've done both of that. And that's going to build community. We're going to start building some connectedness with other people, especially important at this time when we tend to get so isolated when we're remote learning. So this is an example of the kind of weekly posts that you're expected to make over the next 4 weeks. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach out and schedule. You can make a scheduled appointment at sirfizix, sirfizx.as.me. Okay, and you can do that any day and make yourself an appointment, and I can work with you on whatever challenges that you're facing. Okay, have a wonderful, wonderful day.